Hey there, so it's time to talk a little bit about Ashran. Now this video is probably entitled something along the lines of the largest problem with Ashran. And well, first of all, it's my largest problem, and secondly, it's not to do with the queues. I suppose technically the queue is the largest problem with Ashran, but I more want to talk about the design of Ashran, and how I feel that there's just one thing that Blizzard kind of fudged up, which really just hurts the overall experience. It doesn't make it that compelling at the end of the day. So, in Ashran, we've got the main lane, and then we've got all the bonus objectives, and at the end of that main lane is your opponent's base. Now, you're a good Horde soldier, you're a good Alliance soldier. What do you want to do? You want to take the fight to the enemy, you want to kill their commander, crush their base, steal all their stuff, and have a bloody good time doing it. Now, that's what players want to do. It's what you sort of inherently feel like doing if you're placed in that sort of PvP scenario. Now, is that what Blizzard rewards you the best for? I would argue no, and Blizzard themselves have said that the most rewarding thing is not supposed to be standing in the main lane, helping out with the fight. And I think that's really unfortunate. Where Blizzard have put all of the reward is, or not all, that would be a lie, where Blizzard have put much of the reward is with the bonus objectives that are in the sides of the island, and then also there are those random little event things that can pop up. Now, while those in themselves are sort of fun enough and decently rewarding, and I suppose most of the fun is just because you think, oh well, I'll get some honor points at the end, gee, that'll be great. While that stuff's fine, I think that it misses out on one of the key ingredients to making content extremely compelling to players. And just to serve as a good example, let's hop over to the idea of raiding. Now, when you are placed in a raid, what is the thing that you want to do? What you want to do is kill the bosses, get to the very end, lop their head off, collect a nice big axe, or maybe a scepter, whatever you're into. That's what you want to do, right? And I think what works so well about raiding is it's one of those things where the content and the rewards sort of perfectly match each other. You want to kill bosses, it's what you naturally think's a good idea, and that's what you get the reward for. Let's hop back to Ashran. You want to assault the enemy's base, kill their commander, yet most of the reward is not with doing that. Most of the reward is by going and killing a bunch of random spirit thingies or killing some ogres who are throwing rocks. I just don't think that creates a very compelling experience to the player, and it's one of my larger problems with Ashran. When you're in an MMO, there are sort of two main aspects. There's the actual gameplay itself, and then there's the reward that's associated with that gameplay. One of the reasons why World of Warcraft has done so well and become just so compelling to so many people is because I think it generally does a decent enough job with rewards. You do a kind of content, you do what naturally feels right, and then the game rewards you for doing that, which then further compels you to do more of that content, and then you're in this state where you've been, just doing tons of raids and dungeons and stuff to get loads of gear, and it's all been a lot of fun. Or say with maybe Battlegrounds. You want to, when you go into a battleground, you think, aha! I want to complete the objective, I want to capture the flag, I want to kill the enemy commander, and at the end of the battleground, you get a substantial reward for doing so. Whereas in Ashran, again, does that happen? No, not really. It doesn't. You go into Ashran, your side's doing kind of good, but because Ashran's usually a stalemate because of Frangarel and Cronus, you're just sitting there and, thinking, well, I'm not getting any reward, I best just hop off here to the left to get me some 150 honor points, son, because won't that be good? Really, I just don't think that's a very compelling way to design your game. It's as simple as that. Those things don't line up, and I think that's really sad. Now, this is further exacerbated by a few other things. So, as I said at the start of this video, and I think the opening argument or basis of all of this is that what a player generally feels like doing and is naturally compelled to do is to go and kill the enemy's commander, right? Sort of complete the final objective. The actual gameplay involved in doing that, I think, is a bit problematic as well. First of all, both sides descend into this big meaty soup. This big meaty soup of health bars that are very hard to click on sometimes. That's a little bit of a problem. Now, some people do enjoy that combat. Personally, it's not really for me that much, but I can see how it's fun, especially on a ranged character. Now, the main melee, or the main character that I've been playing in Ashran is actually a paladin, and while it is a melee class, I do have decent ranged capability, so that's all been tolerable. But again, I think that when you're in a big sort of zerg of players, a lot of the causality of combat is lost, right? There's less cause and effect. If you're in an arena, right, there's a lot of effect from every ability that you do, whereas in that big Zerg, it's kind of lost in the big soup of people. And that's unfortunate. However, some people are fine with that, so that's totally cool. Let's move on. Another issue with Ashran, and I think one of the main problems as well that hurts with this, is that when Ashran is very balanced, it's at its least fun. Because when Ashran is perfectly balanced, both sides are in a bit of a stalemate, and what will happen is when one side gets Fangreal or Cronus, they'll push a little bit, then Fangreal/Cronus will die, and then the other side will get it, and you just have this sort of stalemate in which not that much happens. Now, that would be fine, right? I think if you got decent rewards, but you don't. The rewards for Ashran when it's balanced are basically nil. And another thing is that there's very low personal difficulty with Ashran. So you're in the stalemate where you as an individual are not being that challenged, yet you just sort of feel like this flow is going that you don't really have much of a part of. Let's contrast that with an arena or a battleground. What happens there is that if you're in a well-balanced match, your personal difficulty increases because damn, you better play well or you're not going to win. And if you don't win, you don't lop off the enemy commander's head, you won't get your nice big shiny reward at the end. And because I think of the Sane size and a few other design related things, that's just very compelling, right? You want to win so you can get your reward at the end, whereas in Ashran, you just feel like you don't have that much of an effect in the main battle, you're not rewarded that greatly from the main battle, and you are actively encouraged to stop participating in the main battle to go and kill a few mobs for some honor points. Look, I suppose fundamentally, I just think that many things tried to be pulled together into one cohesive package for Ashran, yet it feels like there's different threads which are all pulling apart from each other. Some things that are cool pull away from other things that are cool. I don't think the rewards are particularly well done, and I guess that is my main issue with Ashran. Now, with that said, I have had fun with Ashran. Not a great deal of fun, I've had a little bit of fun. Just hopping in for maybe an hour, 35 minutes, when it's unbalanced, so I can just cruise into the enemy base, get my free lockbox, then, do a few bonus objectives and feck off again. And I don't feel that that's fun because of what Ashran is. I think it's fun because it just feels like a loot grab that doesn't really happen that often. And that's unfortunate. I guess one other thing to quickly mention as well is that there were periods during the beta in which the Ashran server did not have a lot of people playing on it. And in those times when I was on Ashran where there was not that many people, it did feel a lot better because I felt like I was actually invested in the battle. And that if I played well, I would be able to properly help my team push towards the enemy's base to claim my ultimate reward, even though it wasn't much of a reward. So I suppose that's really my thoughts on Ashran. I just wanted to get that out there because it's been looming on my head for a while now. I really hope that Blizzard do learn, they do learn lessons from how Ashran has panned out. And obviously, the most important thing to fix right now is the queuing issue, because there are players who do enjoy Ashran, and it's really, really unfortunate that they're made to wait for sometimes upwards of an hour to get into the place. That really sucks, and hopefully Blizzard are able to find some sort of solution. Now in patch 6.1, they said that most of their effort with Ashran is going into polishing it up, fixing queues, fixing bugs, and various things like that. I don't think I'm going to have a lot of fun with Ashran in patch 6.1 because there won't be any fundamental changes. However, what does, I suppose, give me a lot of hope is that Blizzard have said that in future patches there will be large additions to Ashran. And I really hope that some of those large additions and rebalances, whatever, to Ashran sort of address some of the key points that I've had in this video. I just hope that they overall make the laning experience more fun. I hope that they throw in more things, like say the Helmet Nezingwary, Beast Stampede, or Syndragosa, well, it's not Syndragosa, it's just a Frostworm, whatever. I just hope they throw more of those things in, just more fun, more things going on, and just some way of making it so that players feel more rewarded for the time that they put into Ashran. For an example, right, I just want to posit this idea. When I was once defending my base, I defended my base valiantly for 10 minutes, and guess what I got at the end? I got nothing. And that kind of sucked. There was another time when, after defending our base like the good heroes that we are, we pushed the enemy right back to their base, to their tower, and what did I gain from that? Really? I didn't gain anything, and for the reasons that I've already outlined in this video, I didn't have a great deal of fun doing that, so really I just lost some time and didn't get much back in return, in terms of reward or just fun, which I suppose is also a reward. A little bit unfortunate. Anyway, there are my main points with Ashran. If you are a really hardcore PvPer, I'd love to hear what you have to think about Ashran, because I am absolutely a casual PvPer. It's not the main focus of the game for me. But I'm definitely interested to see what the PvP community thinks about this, so be sure to let me know. So that's really it for the video then. I'm sorry for it being a bit of a downer. I know that videos like this aren't really the most fun to listen to or watch, but they're just thoughts that I had in my head that I really wanted to get out there because I thought it would just be worth doing. Whatever. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. See you next time.